the points that all the comrades have raised, are very, very, as everybody used, they're all alarming trends that are taking place, or pointers towards an alarming situation developing very soon. The question that I had for Rishi, when he said the mechanism to win elections, we have to be very clear. What is that mechanism of winning elections, especially in the backward waters like Uttar Pradesh, like Bihar, like any other what they call as the cow belt. What is that? We have to be very forthright in expressing. We must express within ourselves first and then articulate in our material. Because nobody else is doing these things. In my understanding, what Rishi said is, one is the pan-Hindutva consolidation. There are two levels of pan-Hindutva. That is all India Hindutva force. They want to bring in or legitimize the mirage of 85% of India being Hindu. It's just a construct which has serious problems. But at the same time, as Sajit and Anand pointed out, that the past 70 years of misrule, or the failure of the ruling class, the main ruling class party, or the ruling class itself, to solve any of the fundamental problems in the society, which very urgently the caste issue itself, which has degenerated into a much more complex issue, because the bourgeoisie, which had a possibility to tackle the caste issue, instead it browsed over, saying that using the terms as Harijans, which Ambedkar rightly attacked that concept, and they said we are not children of God, we have our own fathers and mothers. It's a very radical statement, of course. But that particular stand by Ambedkar was a very, very important stand. But he was isolated amongst the bourgeois ruling class which took over, and instead of fighting even from a parliamentary angle, not like in France or England or any other countries, when the bourgeois democratic revolution took place, they took the cudgels to fight against the vestiges of feudalism and pave way for a new period of the productive forces to grow under a new class, which happened in some of the European countries, in most of the European countries. Here, the parasitical, this is where the understanding of Trotsky and the thesis of Trotsky and the permanent revolution becomes very, very crucial. It's not just a theory per se. I think we have to have an attitude to theory, especially the theory of permanent revolution, also to passingly mention the ideas of late capitalism, which will explain further the complex processes that take place in the third world. Instead of fighting the fundamental issues that faces society, in India it was caste along with the class issues. Instead, today we have a situation, the caste becomes the island on which the bourgeoisie rests itself to further their exploitation, to further dismember the unity of the working class, to almost automization of the working class. In this context, the new kid in the town, that is Modi's BJP, which has come into a kind of absolute power, if not complete absolute power, they have been able to consolidate and polarize the situation into a right-wing agenda. As we have explained in the previous issues when we wrote, especially the triumph of the villain and other pieces that we wrote on behalf of the socialism.in, we tried to explain that unlike Congress, which has has and had the baggage of leading an anti-imperialist, in a limited sense of anti-imperialist struggle against the British, which took the help of the subaltern sections, that is the working class, the peasantry, and different nationalities, to fight against the British. And they had to maintain a semblance of leaning on that. It was a bit of a left leaning on those sections. But the BJP, which is out and out a business party, which is a party of the built on the petty bourgeois, but which has eyes on the big business itself. And now it is very clear, since the last 2 years, maybe even during the period of Vajpayee, the industrial bourgeoisie started looking seriously towards the BJP. Of course, they were dilly-dallying. But now in the 2014 election, it's very clear that the big bourgeois of India have put their stakes in the basket, their eggs in the basket of the BJP. It's not an accident. Because these people, for whatever they want, the kind of reforms that the bourgeoisie wants in this country, they have no problem with the BJP. Because it has no baggage to carry like the Congress. And that's where we have to understand the dismal failure of Congress in rejuvenating itself as a party of the social democracy, which is not, it is not going to happen. It's neither there nor here. And also we have to come back to the question that demonetization did not happen just like that. The timing of the demonetization, in my opinion, it was a right-wing masterstroke. Modi and his advisors knew that there will be, even though it is a left, it could be a left platform for opposition. It could be a platform for the left to build an opposition to Modi on class lines. They knew that even though the 180 million general strike and other things were there, but the working people's leadership was at its weakest situation. They did not have the wherewithal to mobilize the masses, and that's where Modi won the bet. And while the poorest sections of the working class did suffer, but there was no leadership to really bring out the people for a struggle. It was yes, there was a serious issue within the bank unions as to why we cannot take up. Because, we were the only people, however small voice we are, we were the only people who said, general strike now. Call for a general strike now. None of them took it over. Of course, because of our influence, a very small influence in Bangalore, some of the AICCTU leaders got arrested with us as opposition to the demonetization. But that's just one off. Now they are talking of demonetization, and they want to do a post-mortem of demonetization. But the chance is lost. On the one side, there was a period when the lower middle class, the salaried people, those who have some money in their hand, could have been mobilized. And definitely in the rural areas where things were very hard, they had this dampener, this factor of casteism playing much more of a debilitating role, while one, from the point of view, it's a dialectical situation. On the one hand, it plays a very pernicious role on the consciousness of the people in the rural areas. At the same time, electorally, this particular thing, Modi is the messiah, Modi will solve the problem, Modi is going to attack the corruption. All this did give them an edge. And that's why it was a two-pronged attack from demonetization to create an aura that Modi is an anti-corrupt politician. BJP is dealing with the corruption on the one hand. At the same time, in Uttar Pradesh, the caste issue, the caste calculations did matter. The pan-Hindutva factor did matter. And mind you, Muzaffarnagar riots may not have paid immediately, but Amit Shah had the last laugh in the last assembly elections, where they got the maximum number of CJP. But this Yogi Adityanath becoming the chief minister of UP is a surprise to me as well. I mean, it's a masterstroke. I mean, the very first day after the elections in UP, Modi and Amit Shah started their campaign for 2019 on the very same day by putting Yogi Adityanath as the UP. There was a lot of consternation within the ranks of the BJP, but they surpassed everything and they brought, one, the caste calculations, second, the virulent anti-Muslim rhetoric that the Hindu Yuva Vahini chief Yogi Adityanath has brought into the table. I mean, now, since Yogi Adityanath has come, the Gaurakshak vigilantes and the skirmishes that are taking in fact, I need to stop the use the word of skirmishes. This is cantankerous battles that are broken out in UP on the basis of the cow is going to grow manifold, threefold, fourfold in the coming period, and they are going to keep the heat on until 2019, and that will spread into other areas. I'm not very sure. I have not studied much of the phenomenon that they were trying to bring into Karnataka. This Santosh, who is a pracharak from RSS, I don't know what calculations that the Amit Shah has for him. But here is a bit of a problematic thing that is taking place, because Yediyurappa is back on the saddle, but he is tainted. It's a kind of a what you call hot ghee. They can't spit it out, but they neither can swallow it, and that's the kind of situation that is there in Karnataka. But definitely there is lot of a situation that is happening. For example, the poser that Thackeray's son has posed for BJP, challenging them to call for elections in Maharashtra, and also taking the side of non-vegetarians in Maharashtra. These are all some of the pointers that very interesting that Uddhav Thackeray has taken that stand. But given the situation, if BJP is 10-notch communalist, Shiv Sena at the moment maybe 8-notch. So there's hardly any difference. They are competing for the same communal agenda. So in such a situation, it's in flux. But overall, I was just looking at the record. They have bought 23 MLAs in Manipur. They have bought 18 or 19 MLAs in Assam to make for the BJP to come to power in this thing. And they tried their best to do some kind of a ulta pulta in Tamil Nadu. But Tamil Nadu is a different ball game. It will take some more time for them. But all this is pointing towards the direction that the offensive, the communal offensive, the communal agenda of the BJP will be on the rise in the coming period. And Yogi Adityanath, to say the least, he is not an accident. It's not just something that they have brought in. And they have set the agenda for the 2019 elections. You cannot rule out a small-scale war with Pakistan. This mutilation of the heads of the soldiers and the cacophony that is surrounded it, and also the launching of Arnab Goswami's republic is all something that we have to view in conjunction with the worsening political situation in the country. But coming to the economics, these are all the points that, Sajid made a very good point. We have to catch the beast in its weakest point. Modi made, after the September 2nd general strike, he came rushing, Arun Jaitley and Modi came rushing to the trade union leadership and unilaterally announced 15,000 rupees as the national minimum wage. But hitherto, nothing has been done. While our demand may be different, but we have to catch him. Where is the 15,000 that on the floor of the house by the as a prime minister? 15 lakh may be a party agenda, but 15,000 as the prime minister, representative of the government, you have made a promise to the working class of this country that 15,000 rupees will be the minimum. So we demand it. We have to expose him. By the way, coming to this prices front, prices in the last 3 months, that's a quarter, there is a blanket rise of prices in the wholesale price index by 7%. All the essentials. I mean, while I am saying essentials, keeping petroleum products away. So there is not a whimper by the left, you know. I mean, here again, I remember the words of Leon Trotsky. The crisis of the mankind can be reduced to the crisis of the leadership it has. And today, Sitaram Yechuri is conducting a debate within his party and within the left front as to whether he should accept the third term in the Rajya Sabha. They're stuck like the fly in the plum within the parliamentary politics. I mean, they would have, if they had any revolutionary fervor left, they would have led the masses during the demonetization. Even now, they have not learned anything from the expectation of the masses as to they want leadership. I mean, if not now, when? That's the question. And he is only discussing whether it would be a blunder like the blunder that they claim of not allowing Jyoti Basu to become the prime ministerial candidate. And they are comparing whether Sitaram Yechuri should be the third term Rajya Sabha member or not. So in such a situation, we are at a very, very difficult situation, a small organization, trying to clarify things. And at the same time, we have to raise agitational programmatic points.